And when you're 10,000 leagues under the sea, you need a good anchor. And let me tell you about our sponsor, Anchor.
What's Anchor?
Anchor is actually the easiest way to make a podcast, Steve. They give you the tools to make your podcast sound great and authentic. They distribute your podcast to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many others.
Huh, but is it for free?
It's absolutely free, Squid, and you can make money with hardly any minimal listenership. All you gotta do is go to anchor.fm.com to download the app there.
Doing my dance, they making it cool. Let's talk about bands and they pop like balloons. But they don't care about the youth. Nah, let me get up on my suit tie. Sleeping on me like a fruit tie. Over your head like two blinds. Making this so when I see God, I can thank him for the deep signs. He can look back like that's my nigga. We've been through the fire. Hit the blunt and now I feel alive. Water bending when I get inside. Meditate and change my state of mind. I'ma take the fine, I'ma kneel. Listen to go, live for yourself. Fuck the material word, wealth. At the event, have a talk with my...
And hey there, YouTube. Welcome to the Real Sharks Podcast with your host, Rob, and Steve,
Yo.
and Squid.
What's going on, guys?
And if you like the channel and you like the show, help the channel grow. Talk about Real Sharks. Also, too, we appreciate all the love. We also would like you to invite you guys to visit our website at realsharks.wix.com and visit our merch store at Jagged Vintage Store. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this episode, guys. First of all, there have been a lot of cartoons depicting the beginning of time, and a lot of cartoons that have tried to basically show the forthcoming of man through the eons of time. But none could probably be spoken more highly or weirdly about the 1980s film The Missing Link, or known as, and I'm sorry, Steve, if I offend you with my mispronunciation, Le Chanon Manquant, which is a 1980 French-Belgian adult animated comedy, written and directed by Jean-Paul Walravens, who was an animator. This guy would go on to create classics such as 1972 Cartoon Circus, Tarzoon, La Honte de la Jungle, or Tarzan, Shame of the Jungle. And also The Big Bang, 1987, or Le Big Bang.
Le Big Mac.
Le Big Mac.
La Big Mac. And Blanche Neigel, or Nage Le Soot, Snow White in the Suit. Sorry for butchering that.
Oh!
Sorry.
You got this coffee?
I call this America.
Sorry, Steve. Sorry, I have to do it. I had to do that.
You know, the thing about it is, like, this is a weird. It's a weird movie, so the mispronunciation is kind of.
Well, let's get to that. Let's get to that, because it is actually not known as The Missing Link for many of you who are maybe searching around for it, going, wait, I can't find this. It's actually known as an American adaptation known as B.C. Rock, which actually changed the film because the original French version used to have a narration, as did Tarzoon, Jean-Paul's original masterpiece that was supposedly, this was the follow-up to his masterpiece. And basically, they took The Missing Link, added some comedy to it, changed some things around, got rid of the narration, added some rock music, and you get the film you see before you. It starts out with all these cavemen who are basically knuckle-dragging morons, Neanderthals basically, who barely know how to hunt for food, so bad that they actually end up eating each other. And then they even, they can barely have sex. They barely know how to reproduce.
Procreate.
So basically, procreate.
Yeah.
They barely know how to procreate. Whatever you guys want to say it. Whatever.
Doing the nasty!
Yeah, right? Poker in the eye.
A woman in this time gives birth to two twins. One who is rejected by the tribe, whose name is Stewie. Or Stuart.
Yeah.
Stuart.
Yeah, and the other is his brother, who just basically is kind of like the you don't really get to see him much, but he's basically the catered to baby. He's babied by the father of the tribe, and Stewart is adopted by a brontosaurus because they barely know how to name bone. and a pterodactyl who I absolutely love named Slick.
Did you do?
Yes, I love Slick. I thought Slick was amazing.
I knew you would like Slick. Yeah,
Slick was cool. And basically, it's an interesting story in which you kind of see one caveman who's rejected venture off, learning new odds and ends and tricks to humanity. Because Stewart, through the whole movie, he basically learns casual sex. He invents the wheel. He invents fire. And, at first, the whole film seems like just kind of a caper between him just trying to survive with weird animation. But also, too, Jean-Paul was known for doing these parodies of evolution. And you can kind of see that in this film because there is a lot of jokes of evolution. And it's almost a joke of like, what the bleep do we know? Because, like, for example, they show some stegosauruses. They show dinosaurs having a lot of sex. But they show particularly one scene that I thought was really, really particularly good was two stegosauruses having sex. And one stegosaurus is just going,
I knew you'd bring it up. I knew it.
When they're mating, the other stegosaurus slices the other stegosaurus in half. Because we still don't know how dinosaurs mated. And if you really think about it, if they did do it like that, the stegosaurus would probably get really messed up.
I actually like that part of the film because
it's
sort of like it's like insects, right? Like where usually the female would kill a male after they're done mating. So after I saw that, I was like, whoa, right? Like, what is he doing? But then I was like, all right, I kind of get it. You know what I mean? Because Rob is right. We don't know how they mated or what they did afterwards.
So it was interesting, but you also had jokes like long-jawed animals where there was like a dinosaur shitting in its mouth, and then like another dinosaur that had a top long jaw, and they basically go Rah! And they're able to kill the dinosaur by just moving their teeth together. So there was a lot of parodies towards evolution and a lot of things like that. Basically, like, what do we know? And some things are just meant to be jokes. During this time, too, when Stewart basically ditches Bones because him and Bones get in a fight, because Bones is kind of like a protective father figure, like in a weird way.
In a
weird way. And so basically, as like Stewie travels, or Stewart, whatever you want to call the caveman, he learns so many different things. He gets to have that cougar chick, which is really interesting. I mean, so much so that he doesn't even know how to like have sex with her. He's just like humping her back for like until you actually see the pollination, as they so vividly depict in the anime. But the ending of the movie is really interesting. So once Stewart goes and basically travels the prehistoric world, I guess you could say, he ends up actually coming back to his tribe. But then when he comes back to his tribe, I thought it was very interesting because then the movie takes this turn to basically Stewie trying to show his tribe how to stand upright, how to behave to women, how to use fire, how to do all these normal things that like are part of humanity. So much so that they end up turning against him. And there's even these chants about who fucks things up? We do. Who fucks things up? We do. And when his brother of all people is like, no, we make war, we make death, we light the forest on fire. They even have a metaphoric showing of the atomic bomb, which I thought was interesting because we just did the previous episode of Twilight of the Cockroaches, where we talked about how obviously the atomic bomb is a big, huge thing for Japanese culture, and they depicted a lot in films. But this film also had that, but in the sense of that humans screw everything up. It was a clear depiction of humans are like almost... humans are the problem. We changed the world.
Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You are a plague.
Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, too, as I was watching this, I was like, man, if only the conservatives knew about this movie today, they'd be like, screw that Happy Feet loving movie.
Happy Feet.
My God.
I think it's because it's so obscure and it was really, it's not known, especially with the whole double title thing. Usually when movies have that like weird double title, title, one continent and the other title on the other, it does kind of get overlooked. And this one, man, it's weird. Like I get his tone, and I think it's just because we know his films, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like
I liked it, Steve.
I don't know, man.
The only thing I really didn't care for at times were the animation, but there were
Right.
some jokes in this movie I actually laughed about, like when he meets the dragon and he's all like, "Oh," and he's
That was
shitting out of his ass, and he's just like, "Did you just stick a cork up my ass? Did he just stick a cork up my ass?"
He stuck a cork up my ass.
That part was like, I was like, wow.
I was dying.
I was
That was
laughing.
hysterical.
I thought it was hysterical too.
Yeah, that joke I think right there kind of like separated, like you're watching another movie, dude. At that point.
Yeah, I can tell you really didn't care for it, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I've seen a better film. Like I chuckled. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching it and I was laughing a little bit. But then when it was ended, I don't know. I kind of felt like I've seen better. Just seen better.
You have seen better, but that's what's interesting about these. Let's talk about when we talk about these films is that this film is from the 1980s. It's from May 21st, 1980. So this film actually preluded a lot of other films, but this movie is literally 1 million years BC, because in 1 million years BC, the guy gets kicked out of his tribe and he goes to basically the shore tribe where the hot chick is and basically learns all these different new things that his tribe didn't know. So it is literally like that. It really is, and it is a watered down story. I just thought, it just made me chuckle, but it was like a Fritz the Cat kind of movie too. For those of you who have never seen Fritz the Cat,
yeah,
it was very, very Fritzy the Cat. Like everything's fucking, everything is like having sex with itself. I mean, but everything's also a parody on itself too. I mean, I don't know if Slick was meant to be a pterodactyl to look like a crow. I don't know if that was like the because he was like he was slick. He was a slick black guy. That's what he was. He was.
Yeah.
He was a slick pterodactyl. I mean, definitely cooler than Petrie.
Petrie!
But overall, I liked it though. I thought it was good. But I will say the only thing that saved it for me, because it did drag in the middle, was the whole premise of humans fucking everything up. I was just like, whoa. Like when it got to that end, I was like, wow, that's kind of I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it to be about this like whole, end, this whole like humans are like the end of the earth kind of thing. So overall, what would you guys give the movie? I would give it honestly honest to God, I'd give it a 5.9.
Oh, really? That low?
Yeah, I'd give it a low score.
I mean, if you're gonna give it a 5.9, I'd give it that. You had Bill Murray too, an early Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So this is like, but he was voicing.
I have seen better. I just, I just thought I just thought it made me chuckle. It was a good chuckle. It was good.
Yeah.
Seeing it once. I'll probably never watch it again though.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like that was good for when I watched it. Like, I'm glad I watched the film like for the first time. But I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever sit down and actively
watch it again.
This.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, 5.9 or a 6. I mean, for what it was, like how long it dragged on. I wish it
did drag.
Dude, yes.
From the dragon to going into the ice age.
Yes.
I felt like it went on too long. I mean, okay, you could have probably done this like a little bit shorter or got through this a lot sooner. I did love the Ice Age scene and how he teaches like those Norwegian
and they're clubbing seals.
Right? Yeah, they're clubbing seals. They're making clothes out of those seals. Yeah. And it made me think, I'm like, holy shit, that was a thing during that time. They clubbed seals. That's how they killed them. That's how they took their pelts. I mean, damn. And then just seeing those same seals like fucking around with them when they're frozen encased in ice.
Yeah, it was a lot of parodies on evolution.
Oh, it was. And even the shark too. I mean, would that even happen to a shark? We expanded it into like a balloon or a hydrogen balloon.
Yeah. And just floated away when he started a fire in his stomach. I just like literally the only thing the reason I would even say that this film was so interesting was because of the ending message, the message that humans fuck things up. That was, and I just liked how blunt it was. I liked the bluntness of it. The whole like, who fucks things up? We do.
Yeah,
who fucks things up? We do. And they're just marching like Nazis, and the dinosaurs are committing suicide. They're hits. Yeah. And I was just like, damn, this is a fucking really huge message of that humans are just a scourge, man. Oh my God, all right, guys, so that's actually going to be the Missing Link, or B.C. Rock, on the Real Shark podcast. We hope
check
you
it
guys
out.
Join this.
Check it out.
Check it out. See what you guys like. Tell us what you guys think at the bottom. And that's going to be this episode. And we hope you liked this episode of Let's Talk About. And on behalf of the Real Sharks podcast, we'll catch you on the flip side, everybody.
So I'm laying in bed, and I'm having this weird dream. I mean, a really weird dream. Next thing you know, I'm on board a freaking ship, guys.
What?
Right? And these aliens here, they're giving me the face hug treatment.
Whoa.
Giving me the chest bursting treatment, you know?
No way.
Just give me the basic Travis Walton experience.
Man.
And you know what they told me?
What's that?
We're a big fan of the Real Sharks podcast.